Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on decoding China's consumer journey, winning with Rednote DOOH and AI plus Big Data. My name is Yi, and I'm delighted to be your host for this session. Brought to you by YOYI TECH, Xingchang Xinda Technology, and VIOOH. We appreciate you joining us from different parts of the world. The webinar is designed for global advertisers, marketers, and media agencies looking to understand and capitalize on China's evolving digital marketing ecosystem. Before we begin, let's warmly welcome today's speakers who will also join the panel discussion. First, Andy, Marketing Director of International Business of YOYI TECH, with over a decade in MarTech industry. Next, Casey, VP of Business Development at Xingchang Xinda Technology, a mastermind in social media and e-commerce. Then Calvin, CEO of VIOOH China, a 20-year edtech trailblazer. Additionally, a few housekeeping notes. This session is being recorded and we'll share the recording with all attendees afterward. Please use the Q&A function at the bottom of your Zoom screen to submit your questions at any time. We'll address them during the live Q&A at the end. To set the stage, let's begin with an overview of China's dynamic and rapidly evolving marketing landscape. We'll start at Andy, who will get us through the world of AI-powered advertising in China. Andy, over to you.
Thank you, Yi. Yeah. Okay. So welcome everyone, and thank you for taking the time to join today's session. In this presentation, I shall be sharing how YOYI Tech use AI to actually transform advertising, making it smarter, more personalized, and more efficient. So whether you are looking to reach a affluent traveler, digital-first shopper, or niche community, our AI-driven solution is actually designed to help you achieve the measurable outcome. Just a quick introduction of our company. YOYI Tech was actually founded in 2007. Currently, it's our 18th year in the market. So YOYI Tech is a leading omni-channel intelligent marketing platform in China. We are providing a one-stop media buying solution, and we have access to 80% of the China media inventory. So by leveraging our AI and big data, we can connect over 1.09 million mainland Chinese consumers. So under YOYI Tech, we have three products. One is YOYI, which is our DSP, our advertising platform. Link4 Engage is our DMP as well as our marketing automation platform. So I'll be sharing with you the AI advertising landscape in China. So as you can see from here, advertising has gone through a clear evolution for the mass digitalization in the early 2000s to precision-based marketing driven by big data and social platform in the 2010. We are now in the next phase, AI-enabled marketing. This means going beyond automation into real-time personalization, predictive targeting, and creative generation. So generative AI, deep learning, these are no longer just a buzzword. They are the real tool reshaping brand-consumer interaction in China and globally. As you can see from here, the AI advertising ecosystem in China is actually multi-layer. Upstream, we have data platform and tech vendor like YOYI Tech. Midstream consists of the private and public domain. And downstream are the channel and consumer themselves. So public domain like Douyin, WeChat, and Baidu work alongside private domain ecosystem. AI acts as an intelligent layer that brings it all together, collecting signal, predicting behavior, and optimizing decision in real time. So brands use public domain traffic to acquire new users, then convert them into private domain like adding them to a WeChat group or mini program for longer term engagement and conversion. So as such, I want to emphasize that it's always important for brands not only to have their own site and own apps, they also need to have their own mini program on WeChat, official account, Weibo, and even Douyin. So in this case, having this give brands a long-term control, loyalty, and data-driven insight. For this slide, you can see that the market potential is really massive. According to iResearch, China AI-powered advertising market is expected to maintain a 10% CAGR. This is driven by a tech-savvy population, advanced data infrastructure, and government support for AI development. For a global brand, tapping into this market with localized AI-driven strategy is no longer optional. It is compulsory and critical. As you can see from here, China consumer are already digitally savvy. They spend the bulk of their time online, browsing, shopping, consuming content, and engaging with brands in real time. On average, about 4 hours daily. 60% of the touch point happen online, and the number is growing. The challenge here is no longer reach, it's about relevancy. And that's where AI come in, creating micro segment and personalized pathway for each user. So how does AI advertising works in China? The emergence of AI marketing has transformed the industry. From last time we used a single generic creative to reach thousands of people. After that, we use thousands of creative tailored for different audience segments. But now we need to deliver thousands of personalized creative designed for each individual consumer. For YOYI Tech, our AI engine is built for full funnel performance. We start with data injection, followed by feature engineering, audience modeling, creative generation, and finally campaign activation and real-time optimization. So by combining automation with AI, we help brands reduce time to launch, improve efficiency, and maintain the ROI. Yes, as you can see from our AI doesn't stop on the audience targeting part. We also support automated campaign planning, select the best CPM strategy, format, and media mix to achieve your goal, whether it's a performance campaign or whether it's a brand awareness campaign. The kind of optimization we can do is actually like example like lookalike. We expand the audience reach by finding similar user. Recall model is meaning we recommend the personalized content based on the user behavior. Ranking model, we actually dynamically optimize the order of the content recommendation. You can imagine it's like a Netflix, right? So Netflix, there's so much movie out there. So recall model is that we are pulling 500 movie you might like from your Netflix library. So ranking model is that we sort those 500 movie to show you the top 10 movie based on your unique taste and behavior. So we have this anomaly detection. In short, is we are detect and filter out fake or invalid traffic to reduce the wasted ad spend. Smart bidding automatically adjust the CPM bid based on predicted conversion rate. We also prioritize the high quality traffic. Of course, we have our CTR and CVR prediction is to estimate the likelihood of a user clicking on a specific content or images. In short, we use a combination of CPM, CPC, CPX, and predictive model, layer with your first-party data and our YOYI DMP data to achieve result. The more context and content we can fit in, the smarter the AI becomes. Now, let's talk about activities. Traditionally, creative development is really time-consuming, but with our AI-powered content engine, we reduce manual work greatly. From one command, our system can generate multi-ad variation, adapt to different persona without compromising quality or brand tones. As you can see on the bottom right-hand side, for example, this automotive cry, they actually give us a generic creative. But by using our AIGC, we are able to adapt different background and send to different audience. Okay, this slide might be a bit complicated and technical, but I think let me explain this with maybe like a dating example. Imagine your marketing funnel, right? Is your dating journey. You're actually trying to date a girl. So impression are like spotting someone across the room is the first glance. And then click that the first smile, the girl actually smile on you. They show the interest. And then UV and add to cart is like you're having a first great date. and then agree to meet again. And then finally purchase is like when the relationship become official. Now, just like in dating, you want to understand what is working at each stage. That's why AI actually step in, like your personal dating coach. So we look at your dating history, past performance, user behavior. So what works and what didn't, and feed them into the system. So that's what we call the integration of the historical data is about. So what is this cost performance metric? So the cost performance metric is like evaluating which date were worth the effort and which one were not. Example, you bring this girl to an expensive restaurant, but with low engagement, and you never manage to hold her hand. So maybe you bring her to some coffee place that lead to a great relationship. So AI help us to double now on the efficient date that deliver the high result at a lower cost. So finally, once you have many successful dates, right, we apply the multi-dimensional cost analysis. This like analyzing what type of people, location, and times leads to better conversion or stronger chemistry. So we assess the campaign by media, audience segment, timing, location, everything that affect how your message land. So the goal is to fine-tune your dating strategy so that you're not just attracting more people. I think the right word is you're attracting the right one at the right time and in the right way. So as you know, consumer move across the screen all day. So we, our AI designed a full-day omnichannel exposure strategy from mobile to outdoor to social and to the videos. So AI help us to plan these various touch points into a seamless experience that maximize the recall and conversion. So cross-screen ID mapping enable us to unify the audience behavior across mobile, desktop, and connected TV. So in this way, we can actually avoid the so-called over frequency. So we maintain a consistent message across all these platforms. So at the end of the day, we actually want to capture this consumer at every touch point. Yeah, I'm going to share with you a case study for Sephora. So as you know, the beauty industry in China is actually shifting very fast. The consumer are becoming more value driven. Yeah. So at the same time, domestic brand and live streaming e-commerce are challenging the traditional offline retail. So to stay competitive, brands like Sephora are expanding their online presence through e-commerce, mini program, and live streaming. So while still maintaining their curated offline experience. As I mentioned just now, right, brands need to have a multiple, beside their own website or apps, they need to have a multiple online channel for user to reach out to. The three main challenges Sephora face today is actually accuracy in the audience and matching is often lacking. So leading to wasted impression and lower engagement because they are not targeting the right audience. The other one is actually the campaign execution during promotion is actually time consuming and labor intensive. So lastly, with a high volume of creative, optimization become very complex and make it harder to identify what works in real time. So for Sephora, they have two goals. One is to grow their high potential user base, and the other one is to increase online sales through smarter AI marketing. So in this case, we deploy our AI precision modeling to better understand consumer segment and use dynamic creative to reach them across relevant platforms. Yeah. So to deliver truly personalized marketing, we need to actually start by leveraging the multi-dimension data from social, from e-commerce, content behavior, as well as the demographic. So just I mean, it's same like the dating example, right? We need to actually know what type of girl like what type of gift and at the right time. So from there, we craft up all these so-called persona, and then we match the beauty shopper with the most relevant product, promotion, and the kind of message. In short, is to improve the engagement and conversion outcome at every touch point. So for example, the premium white collar, with the cream or brightening lotion, and then luxury upfront with the high-end gift set. So next come up, the AI-powered personal matching. So as you know, Sephora has a lot of product. Take on the right-hand side, Alice, for example, right? He's actually belong to a premium white collar. She actually work in Shanghai. She always start her day looking good. But since Alice has oily skin, right? She actually goes for like the lightweight or breathable skincare in the morning to help her makeup go on smoothly and last all day. And then after work, Alice actually like to hang out with a friend for dinner. So she actually count on long wear makeup that easy to touch up without getting cakey or flaky. So at night, she use a refreshing makeup remover to fully cleanse her skin. And because Alice, she often stay up late, she will use product with anti-aging ingredient to keep her skin looking fresh and glowing. So overall, as what I want to emphasize here is, even within the same customer group targeting the premium white collar, everyone beauty and skincare need can be pretty different. So we need to target them with the right product and at the right time. For this one, we use AI enhanced model for accurate product color. For example, first thing we need to select the relevant text and relevant product, layer them with the desired effect, shadow, and background, and deliver them to the different audience. So in short, if we know that particular audience, they actually prefer the red color, and then we will use a red theme effect and background, and then send to them. So this increase the likelihood of capturing their attention and driving the ad script. So this process helps us increase the product efficiency while enhancing the visual impact and creative diversity. So after all these things, with our tag asset management, we actually continually analyze which visual tag and message element were the best performing, and then we re-employ is a winning combination for higher impact. So on the right-hand side, you can see that creative tag like 618 shopping festival has the highest impression and conversion rate, while perfect gift has the higher click-through rate. So in short, by analyzing all these dimensions, this allows us to drive further performance while minimize the creative fatigue. So the end result, we achieve a 24% increase in CTR and a 12% drop in the acquisition cost. And then we also achieve a 33% higher return on investment. So with AI, what we want to say is Sephora were able to move faster, scale smarter, and deliver more relevant engagement to beauty consumer at every stage. Yeah, so to wrap up, AI is not just about automation, it's about enhancement and the kind of continuous learning. So by combining data, algorithm, and our AIGC creative intelligence, we help the brands become more agile, more relevant, and more effective in an increasingly complex digital world. Yep, thank you so much for your time. Yeah, contact me and we love to capture together for your next campaign. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Andy, for those valuable insights on how AI is shaping Chinese unique MarTech ecosystem. So now, next we'll turn to the power of social commerce in China. So, Casey, I think the floor is yours.
Hi, everybody. I'm Casey from Xingchang Xinda, in short XCXD. And before I begin my presentation of the power of social commerce about Rednote, Xiaohongshu, I would like to point out two things in advance. One is that I normally love make my presentation files simple and clean, just the keywords in it, and then I just explain it to everybody. But as we today have limited time, so I decided to put sentences in my screen so that you can feel free to screenshot
Recording
it.
in progress.
You can read it later. With the same reason, there are going to be some graphs towards the end of my presentation, especially on the case studies. But I'm not going to mention too much about the real actual numbers. I'm going to talk about the logics beneath it. But if you want to take a deep look at it, you can anytime take a screenshot. Or as E said, this seminar is going to be recorded and delivered to everybody, so you can rewatch the part. So let me begin. We are XDXD Xingchang Xinda, and we have two main businesses that we carry out. In one word, we can say there are lots of, not one word, there are lots of e-commerce service providers, and there are lots of digital marketing experts in the field, but we are pretty confident that we are one of the best who knows both of them. We have the first business that we carry out is creative digital marketing. And when it comes to digital marketing, we help our clients from analyzing the market and competitor and segments, which we can call it insights. And we also provide the ideas of how we are going to make the contents. And we also strategically execute those ideas. In details, we make contents creations for the clients. And we also do operate the official accounts for them, the Rednote official accounts or TikTok account. And we also have pool of KOLs that we cooperate with. We don't own KOL pool, but we have frequently cooperating KOLs that we can always cooperate with. The second part of our business is the e-commerce integration. That we can say we provide one-stop solution for e-commerce. We do have store operation, not only for Taobao, Tmall, Rednote, and TikTok, and JD. We also do have the backend system with we can analyze the BI, and then we provide the weekly or bi-weekly reports. And then we do trade marketing, and we do design UX, UI, and also photos for products and videos for products. Also, we do operate customer service for our clients, and we also do cover logistics and warehouse. These two are main business that XDXD is carrying out, and because we have been doing this, we have been doing the e-commerce ever since 2000 and the content marketing ever since 2016. We are very confident that we can help you both in not only the e-commerce integration, but at the same time, content marketing. So let's dive into Rednote world. So Rednote, which in Chinese is called Xiaohongshu, you can call it a cross-generational national life encyclopedia. So when people want to collect some information about anything, well, in other countries, as you understand, in China, you can use Google. We have Baidu and other search engines. But Chinese people tend to use Rednote rather than Baidu or Google because there are lots of reasons that we can see here, right here. We have 300 million monthly active users, and then 90% of UGC content. So all the contents on Rednote, 90% of them are user-created contents. And 50% of the members are from first and second tier cities. And this is a very high ratio of young generations are using Rednote platform. Also, not only the contents, Rednote also provides the function of e-commerce. We can open their store in Rednote. And as you can see here, the numbers around the purchase is getting higher and higher. As I mentioned before, lots of people go to Rednote, not only to enjoy the content or just buy products, but when they want real information from real people, real world people, they tend to go to Rednote instead of other platforms. So we have some research on it. So what is your reason you go to this platform? This is a comparison of 4 platforms that we have. The first one is Rednote, and those other one is one e-commerce platform, one social platform, and one content platform. So when it comes to Rednote, because there are lots of rich contents, people said nearly 65% have answered it, and the high quality contents, this exceeds any of other platforms, which means in Rednote, what people do believe is that these are not fake or advertisement. These are real people's voice because they have accumulated experience of the platform. Also, well, as you can see, users' real experience is like 50%. So this is why Chinese people wants to get on Rednote, what they need to discover in this platform. So here comes the fun part. Well, as I mentioned, Rednote does not only have the uploading contents function, they also allow us to open a official accounts for brand, or you can even establish a store in Rednote store. So this is where this starts. Let's start from the center. You make a content and you put those feeds on post the feeds on Rednote, and then people are going to discover about your brand, your product, or your so this is going to improve your awareness. And then those people are going to not only going to just see it and then it's done, they're going to share it and they're going to modify their own ideas, and they're going to post their own ideas so that they become the supporters and royal fans. Some of those people in Rednote platform, they directly go and purchase their products. But at the same time, well, actually, because Chinese consumers have this habit of going to Taobao or Tmall or JD, those social e-commerce platform, to purchase. So some people, after they get information in Rednote, they tend to go out to Taobao, Tmall, or JD.com, and they do the search of the keyword they have just seen, and then there they can buy the product, and then they become the followers or fans or loyal customers of the brand. The fun part is, well, it's going to be explained on the next slide, but these are connected. This is what we call Taobao Alliance. And when you have seen such a, for instance, if you see a diaper on Rednote and you do browse a lot of diaper related stuff, and then you turn off the Rednote, you go to Taobao and Tmall and you do search the diaper or the brand that you like, something diaper, and then we have the backend connection, the alliance connection, that you can follow up to figure out where this traffic come from. If you've just seen the Rednote before you came into the store, then it is going to tell you these people come from Rednote. This makes our e-commerce part very, very easy and efficient. This is going to be explained in the next slide. As I said, Taobao Alliance and Rednote, they have, well, this is the same concept of what you have seen in the previous slide, but what you have to see here is these data indicators. In Rednote, you can see contents UV and like, shares, and comments UV. And then when they move to the outer circle to go to Taobao, Tmall, or JD, and then they're going to search and they're going to interact, they're going to acquire, they're going to purchase. And as I told you, you can see the connection between those two numbers, which makes you better optimize the or for instance, the SEM, the search engine, or the keywords, or the contents, the direction, and everything. So when it comes to, you have collected all those numbers, indicators, what you can do is optimize this, utilizing these numbers and data you have, you can optimize the way of marketing so that you can reach out to those other people who did not reach out at the first time, or those people who have already purchased your product can be, again, attracted by your second-hand marketing. So this is how you're going to utilize this entire dual cycle ecosystem. So we are going to talk about, so how actually do we have to do the marketing on Rednote? Well, marketing is changing and everything is changing. Even e-commerce has been changing very rapidly in past 10 years, 20 years in China and anywhere in the world.
But one thing that we must not forget is that even the times are changing, the logics are the same. The core logics are staying the same. What you have to do is you have to develop an objective, and you have to analyze, and you have to know what people want, who are the people they want that needs our product. Also, you have to have the plan of how we're going to market it and how we're going to arrange the products. Also, how we are going to execute all those plans that we have built in advance. So from this idea, we have developed this system of step-by-step system. The first one is idea, what we call idea. Insights, define, expand, and advocate. Insight is literally you have to analyze the market, analyze the competitor, you have to analyze the product, and you have to have the insight what is going to work and what you have to prepare. And the second one is define. So you have to know what your product is, what your product's strength is, what your weakness is, what people want, and in which scenario, in which scene that people are going to look for your product, so that you can prepare the exactly accurate product when it comes to when customers want exactly that category or the product line. And expand is because this is a very competitive world, and you can not only do things that you want to do, you think which is right. And if they do not, you have set up A, keyword B, keyword C, keyword, but if consumers are not interested in those keywords, then it is not going to be very competitive. So what we suggest is you have to understand what competitors are doing, and you have to do how to put your brand, how to put your product on the track so that you can race together with our competitors. And advocate is when you have this strategies down, then they're going to be sharing become your fans and become your army to share your ideas to in their own fashion, like UGCs, which is going to be explained later. I have a case study of idea, this part in the later slide. I'm going to go in details on in the later parts. When we're done with the having idea part, then we have to start doing the real work. The first one is product. You have to prepare the product for the right timing and right situation and right scenes. Also, you have to know what are the keywords that you really have to invest on. Some keywords are cheap. For instance, your own brand's name, maybe it's not that expensive, but if you want to buy a category name as a keyword, then it costs a lot. But you have to know what you need at that stage. So you have to optimize your keywords very carefully. And then most importantly, because Rednote is mostly a contents platform, you have to start creating your contents. It could be photos, it could be vlogs, it could be videos and anything. And also you can work with KOX, KOC, KOL, those influencers. They're going to be really big help for you when you are spreading out your awareness or you're looking for dedicated target audiences. And also you have to have the schedule of how you're going to carry out your sales, because there are lots of big sales promotions in China, such as W11, W12. You guys must have heard of it. We're going to touch that a little bit later. And then when you're done with producing like basically planning everything, then it becomes, we go with KFS, which is like K is KOL and KOC, KOX, and feed, F for feeds, and S for search. This part, we are going to have a dedicated slide later. So overall, when you have this digital marketing, you have the digital content that you have created, maybe you're going to have the direct conversion, the direct ROI on Rednote platform, or it is going to go outside the circle. And as I told you, you can go to brand search or Taobao user assets. So you can have both of the connection possibilities open to you. Let's talk about KOX strategies a little bit. So KOX, well, we have KOL, KOC, you can see here. Lots of things that you can utilize. But as I mentioned, in Rednote, 90% of contents are UGC. It's user-created contents. So it's really important to interact with the real users and how to inspire them to have our product or even market our products without like pushing them or forcing them. So when it comes to KOL is, as you can understand, like top tier influencers, as you can see in TikTok or in Instagram, in overall like other countries. And then there are also registered KOC. KOC is a little bit lower, mid-tier of influencers. And then we have registered ones. They do, well, the characteristic of registered KOC is that they are basically, most of them are basically dedicated to one category or one sort of line that they are on. For instance, there's a KOL with not 2 million people, but 200K fans who has a 2-year-old baby's mama. She's a mom of 2-year-old kid. And those people who loves her and follows her are looking for some information about the baby care stuff. And then I'm very sorry, I'm going to take a lot of examples of baby care product because I recently have a baby and all I can think is baby products, sorry. And then the third one is non-registered KOC. This one you have to be really careful. This one we can call it content farming. They're not only in Rednote, not only on Taobao, Tmall, even on Instagram, on YouTube, on Google, on every platform, there is a temptation that you want to buy some fake IDs and you can put a lot of replies on it. It looks like your product is doing amazing. You have amazing views, but this is really risky because the platform Rednote is really cautious about this and they are going to be very strict about it. So our suggestion is we strongly suggest not to utilize this part. There's going to be a lot of temptation, but we can do our business without those helps. We can do in real ways. Fourth one is UGC. This is a real users created contents. But there's a very interesting function in Rednote. If you see this UGC, one of the UGCs talking about your own products and it's very good and you think it's going to be help to your own product and brand, you can put your link into that post. And that post is going to be boosted up by your help and as well as their own quality of the content. And also you can utilize KOS, which is basically your employees and store staff, BA, beauty assistant. So these are the 5 kind of KOX you can think of. So when you want to put this strategy onto your track, the thing you have to really consider is align the direction and minimize the cost and maximize the efficiency and manage the risk. So this is why we have this columns here. You can take a look. You can you're more than welcome to take a screenshot, take a look. And this is KFS strategy, KOL. So let's say this part is before one big event. You prepare the contents with KOL. Your KOL, KOC, they're going to start pushing your products, you're pushing your products and brand. And this is going to be the preparing work. So when you're doing the KOL, we suggest like high tier, top tier KOL, you should use 1% of your budget. Not but the budget, but the 1% of your weight of the KOL. And this 1% is going to bring you a lot of awareness, a lot of UVs, but maybe they're not that accurate because those KOLs have millions of fans, but they're not really into your category, maybe. But at least when you want to have your brand awareness to everybody, well, nobody really knows my brand yet, then this is going to be very helpful. But at the same time, it's going to be very high budget. You have to be very careful. Mostly, what you can do is 19% of mid-tier KOL, as I said, dedicate to the category or the product. They're going to help you, not too many people, but those people who they're going to carry your brand and product to is going to be interested, highly possibly to be interested in your brand. And also you can use the long tail, 80% of UGCs. You can see a lot of, keep your eyes on those user created contents. And then if there are things that you think is very friendly to your business, then you can, as you said, you can put a commercial card, you can link your store or the brand to the post so that people are going to know. It's going to increase the content credibility because these are real users. And then now we have to feed it. So the feeding is that you can feed by your own self, of course, but at the same time, this long tail part, you can use already existing feeds to put your commercial cards. And then you're going to search your brand, and then you're going to see a lot of posts about your brand and products. And meanwhile, there are some posts that you didn't involve yet, has lots of likes and lots of shares and lots of interactions. You can put your commercial cards into the brand, and this post is going to boost up even more by their own conversion rate or by your pushing. And then it's going to help your organic search. And keywords, your brand keyword is most necessary, of course, because if already some people already know your brand and they want to start browse your information or the product, you have to be at the top of the search. So brand keywords and category keyword, this is going to be more and more expensive, but you can buy some category keywords. So if somebody wants to see, if they don't know about your brand or product, but they know about your they want to buy a certain product, then they can search the category keywords and they can find you there. So in that way, you can go to competitors' keywords and seeing keywords, what kind of situation they want to use the thing. What do you buy when you're when you have a sore throat, something like scene keywords. So you can have, you have a very good medicine that is going to work great in sore throats. Something like those keywords has to be considered. So your daily seeding and promotion warm-up, and then when it comes to real promotion launching, then you have to do the keywords, which is going to boost up your entire process. So now I'm going to talk about some success case study. Melvita is a sub-brand of L'Occitane Group of France, and we have been helping them. We are doing basically closed cycle service for the brand. We started their Tmall store from 2020, and we started their Rednote store from 2022, in the middle of 2022, and we started TikTok, which is Douyin, in 2023. And then we not only operating the store, we also do the content marketing. We do the content marketing for them, and the KOL streaming. We also help them with planning and executing. And also, we do have our own backend system that we can provide them the numbers that what they need to know, what we need to optimize from the data. Also, we do provide the UX UI design for the page and the stores and the official accounts, as well as we do commercial photographing. I'm not going to really going too deep about these numbers, but what you have to understand is that from 2020, we started doing the Tmall store, and then in 2022, we started the Rednote, and in 2023, early 2024, just by 1.5 years, the interaction of this dual cycle has really worked up. So the growth has reached the 61% of the segment. And then in 2024, and so far, we are still keeping having the growth rate of over 70%, like in average right now. So this is, as I mentioned, there are lots of promotional events, shopping festivals in China. Well, 4 of them, let me just roughly talk about: 618, 88, Double 11, and Double 12, and 38. 38 is for the Women's Day. And what we have done is for the Melvita brand, we have put posts and feeds on the Rednote, and we see how it goes viral. And the rate of going viral is rapidly going up. And these are the interactions. The green part is the interaction. Interactions goes up and up and up. So when you carry out by per this shopping events, what we have experienced is what we have done in 6018. We prepared a lot and we put a lot of cost on it, and then 88 we put most of our budgets on it so that we can put a lot of people can know about us and get into us. And then after that, W11 and 38, we didn't do a lot, but as you can see, the cost goes down like dramatically, but the ROI goes up like very, very rapidly. So after three these major shopping promotional events, ROI have reached 1.0. Yeah, this one also, we have launched the Rednote flagship store of Melvita in 2022, June, half of the year. And then in 1.5 years later, in 2024, quarter one, it has reached the 50% of what Tmall store was making. Tmall store has been there for 4 or 5 more years, but we have reached the part. And then at the same time, it's not only the growth of the Rednote platform, we have grown the Tmall platform revenue at the same time by utilizing the dual cycle marketing method that I have said. So Tmall has Tmall, after the launch of Rednote dual cycle, the marketing and contents, Tmall has grown 76%, and Rednote has grown nearly 1,000% of the GMV. This is the traffic breakdown. First of all, the most healthiest traffic should be, of course, the natural organic traffic makes your ROI higher, of course, but it does not really work really easy, as you understand. First of all, you have to do a lot of marketing in advance to be able to let everybody already know your brand. So what Melvita has done is they have put their budget on 2 main parts. One is registering the post and commercial card, which I said, when you have a very useful UGC on the platform, you can register the post to the official account. So it is going to be now users created content at the same time, brand certified content. So when people see it, at the same time, they're going to know this is credible information that coming from the real user. At the same time, the brand is recognizing this post, so they get more and more credibility. Also, commercial card, the official account of Movita has issued some commercial cards that they can share with their own accounts. The users can share with their own accounts, and more links purchase coming from those links can get the rewards, and those cards we call it commercial cards. We have put 42% of the budget on it, and also we have tried a lot of parts in the KOL, because we do believe KOL and streaming, live streaming, has a very powerful in this awareness growth. So we did 40% of the KOL strategies, and also we had 18% of recommendation and natural organic traffics, which is not it. If you just see this page, it does not look the most healthiest traffic incomes, but this has helped Movita to achieve what you have just seen in the previous slides. What we call AIPL, what AIPL or AIPS is: A is awareness, I is interest, P is purchase, and L is loyalty. So people has to go through 4 steps. You have to aware the brand, and you get to feel interested in the brand, and then you have to purchase it, and then you become the loyal fans of the brand. This is a number of how we grew our awareness, and then how we reached out to how many people and the fans. In this one, you can see the Movita has been working hard to let more and more people know about their brand and products. But what we really have to see is the P and L part. So this P and L, gray and yellow, does not look really clear here, but we just made it bigger, zoom in here. So P is purchase. When you purchased it, it doesn't mean that you're going to come back and purchase again. It doesn't mean that you're going to be willing to share your experience or your post to other people. But we have tried our best to grow the L part, loyalty part. So we have successfully keep growing the loyal fans. And 2024, we have reached 44% of it. So for the last part, this is the case study of Kokochi, which is a Japanese eye cream brand. This is how we carried out idea that we have mentioned before. So what we have done is, for Kokochi, we have done category analysis and competitor analysis and product analysis, so that before we start any marketing project, we know what we are doing. So what people know, what we are, where we are. And then D is define. So after we know what people want, after we know what our products, where we fit in, then we have to carve out the creativity. What kind of content are we going to make? How are we going to arrange the schedule? Because the schedule is very critical. If you just want to put it in someday like June 3rd, it doesn't mean anything, and then maybe the efficiency is very low. But if you want to do it with 318, 88, W11, this efficiency is going to be high. And also we did the E, expand. We put it into the racing track. So we have to know what kind of keywords are most accurate, most critical to be competing with our brands in the same category, or even bigger or small categories, and how we are going to put our CPC strategy and keywords cost controlled under our plans. So I'm not going to go through this because my time is up, but please feel free to screenshot this one. It is all in Chinese, I'm sorry, but you can take a deeper look into this page later. So that's for my part. Thank you very much. And here let me go back to Zhang, please. Okay.
Good. Thank you. great to hear all the Rednote kind of tips, I guess, from Casey. Now we're switching gears a bit. You are now with me, Calvin. So hello and greetings from Shanghai. Wonderful afternoon. And so today we had the first part, which is the kind of introduction by Andy, and then getting into social commerce. And now I'm switching to DOOH. And I guess when we start to talk about DOOH, let me just flip the slides for you guys. Most of the time, I guess you're thinking about, okay, here's your kind of offline, traditional out-of-home setting. I'm hoping that the later, 20 odd slides will change your mind for everything. And so I'm just going to start with, I think most of you, judging from some of the questions and the chat boxes, messages, you are already into digital media. And so one thing that I'm going to highlight is like, okay, we are now digitalizing the actual out-of-home media itself, and I'll explain in a little bit. So how does actually the concept of ad tech or programmatic come into this space? I would actually call it the last frontier because, as we know, all other media channels or platforms have been in touch with programmatic or any sorts of AI or ad tech or martech. DOOH is really embarrassing to say in the past is kind of a little backward, even though it was one of the oldest media. And then I'm going to explain a bit how does it actually change the industry and the way how we buy media. And then the second part, I think most of us being here today is you are looking into opportunities to promote your brand or sell your products or getting to know more about the Chinese consumers. I will talk a little bit about the opportunity here with the programmatic digital out-of-home itself. And obviously, I think any technology or any platform or channel cannot go alone now these days. Lone wolf is not going to win the game. How do you actually integrate with all this stuff that we've been talking about today? AI, all the other digital technologies, and how do we work with other channels? So DOOH is not by any means a silo channel. And then last of all, I think everyone will love it, especially after Casey's presentation talking about how e-commerce can really help you drive the business. And the good news is that actually even OOH or DOOH itself can actually bring you some sort of business impact or result, and it is trackable. So I'll come back to that. Let's just dive right in. First part of it is, okay, the actual programmatic technology itself is now coming into digital out-of-home. What does it really mean? It really means three parts. For most of us who are kind of like myself, grew up in the digital space, you always think about, okay, I have data, precision, I can actually plan and target, and then I would buy or trade the actual media inventory live, and I can make changes on the fly, and I can optimize always. At the end, you can do measurement. So this is where I'm going to come at. First of all, okay, we have to talk about this. I think most of you who are not familiar with out-of-home, I'll just spend this a couple of seconds to talk about that. The mere fact that the out-of-home screens, again, this is physical assets, the actual screen itself, right? If it's not digitalized, it's not connected to the internet, we are not even talking about programmatic or any trading. So I think critically enough, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, I would not be here to talk about this topic. Now, with the investment level coming in from a capital capex point of view, you are seeing over actually 50% now as we speak now. This data is a little outdated. Of the out-of-home screens across the world are digital, and in China is actually even higher. And this is also climbing fast. You're looking at a CAGR rate of 5 to 10%, and in China itself, is growing very fast. And so the DOOH is going to reach like 21 billion of ad spend, for example. The forecast here is 2027, the number. And a lot of you are coming from an overseas country or place where you want to advertise in China. The fact that it is digitized, it is going to help you a lot. And we'll talk a lot about that in the later slides. I'll just go to the next one. So first of all, we have to make use of the programmatic actual buy-in, right? And I will just use this slide. And Casey also mentioned, you can always screenshot our presentation. So I think this is one of the slides you want to screenshot. I call it the best of both worlds. For some of you who might be already buying some out-of-home media or DOOH media, you are going to be enjoying all these existing benefits already with programmatic DOOH. Brand safe, diverse audience, is a broadcast medium. You get real creativity, is a big screen, very impactful. The actual space, location. But then you are going to, on top, also win some efficiency because of the programmatic nature itself, such as you can do real-time buying, you can do flexibility. You don't have to buy an out-of-home media for 2 months or 3 months or even more, 1 month, right? Because especially for you guys who are overseas, this is going to be difficult. Sometimes you might want to change your strategies. You might want to target different segment groups. You might want to target different places. You might have limited budget. Your budget might be on the go, always changing. You need that flexibility. Then I guess programmatic offered you that benefit, additional benefit on top of all the traditional or conventional kind of OOH benefits that you get. And then I'll also show you some case studies, like where you can use a lot of data and how do you best use of the contextual aspect of it. So I'm going to go into the second part of today, which is, okay, what is the opportunity right now? You are looking into the mainland China market. If we look at from a kind of third-party S-band data landscape, obviously we talk a lot about digital media, including the Rednote and all the other platforms that we have conversations in the chat box. But don't forget, the actual out-of-home itself, this data is coming from all the agency holding group spend in China. 13% more of the actual S spend is going into still out-of-home. This is the second largest medium in China. So you definitely want to consider that medium in your omni-channel buy. And how do you actually go from there, right? One of the things that everyone knows is out-of-home media in general drives really high recall. But we also have a problem. We all know that maybe we've seen an advertising, a pair of sneakers, some sort of new, consumer electronic product or something, or a medical device. But then you're going to make your purchase decision or all the other stuff online. And then this is kind of disconnected. That's what I mentioned earlier, is out-of-home always has been considered as a silo media. But now, with the programmatic digital technology itself, you are going to be able to do this. Which this chart, I think most of us are quite familiar if you run in the digital space already. You can actually now make use of a lot of data for your pre-buy planning, right? So you are looking at different sets of third-party data, first-party data for targeting locations or actual frame, right? Individual panel that you want to buy. So this is interesting and instrumental for the later part. Once you are able to kind of pick and choose, do your cherry picking, now you can do real-time optimization. So you can, based on a weather, for example, data that you can say, okay, if today is a cloudy day versus today is a rainy day and a sunny day, okay, I'm going to serve a different creative. This is where your context coming in. Imagine if you're an EV manufacturer, right? So you're running an ad, you want to create some sort of awareness that may be looking at a PMI level, very high a polluted day, or high pollutant date, you can actually serve an ad to talk about your cosmetic products to target different segment groups, right, in different areas. So I think this is your planning and then coming into play for real-time trading and optimization. And then at the end of the day, I think most people call out-of-home in the old days a non-trackable or not trackable medium. This is no longer true anymore, because you can actually do what we call here proof of play. So anything you serve on a digital screen, now you get data back. Okay, how much times frequency that you got play, and then okay, what is the actual impression number that you served at that location, and then what sorts of target segments. And I have to caution one thing here. With all the other digital screens, especially as we know, China is very mobile driven. So if you're looking at a mobile device, obviously you're doing one-to-one targeting. In the outdoor screens, there is a difference here. So the key difference being is not a one-to-one medium. It's a one-to-field or one-to-many medium. So don't look crazy into every single device ID level, right? Mapping. But you are going to be able to say, okay, I want to look at my on target percentage. I want to look at my almost like a TGI kind of index. Wherever the digital frame is over-indexed on some sort of target segment, good for you. And using Casey's example, you knew that. So congratulations, by the way. So you can say, okay, across all Beijing and Shanghai digital out-of-home inventory, where am I going to be finding a high concentration of new parents, for example? And then you serve your infant milk formula ads over there. So that's another example, right? And then the actual assets itself. Sorry, it was a little delay and it flew too fast. We are now looking into all the key cities, and I'll just name a few: Beijing, Shanghai, Chongqing, Tianjin, for example. You are going to be seeing all these impactful, as you can see from the picture, very big screens, and they're abundant across the different metro systems here in those key cities and airport. So these are very impactful. And I will particularly just single out one of the screens, which is quite interesting. On the top one in the middle, you see that screen over there is actually a portrait screen. So this is making it very interesting because in the old days, outdoor screens usually they are horizontal or landscape, and now having that portrait screen there and it's actually very thin. It looks like a mobile screen, but it's an 85-inch mobile screen. So now you can do all sorts of actual content feeding to that screen, and then doing some sort of omni-channel buy because you can put the same creative or the visual on your cell phone, targeted cell phones, and also put it on the big screen. So I think this is making the actual creative aspect also very powerful. And I have to highlight these numbers. When it comes to China, we all know the population is huge, but with this media itself, even bigger. I think we all love digital media, but there's one challenge over there. Unless you have a lot of budget to come into like the Rednote or Douyin or any of these like top channels across all channels, you're not going to be getting a huge reach at any given time, right? But with the actual DOOH screen, just to give you a sense, you are reaching out to 6 billion impressions on a monthly basis. Obviously, you don't buy all of that, but maybe let's say zoom in for Beijing and Shanghai, the top 2 cities in China. On every single day, 12 million people plus are actually going to be traveling on the subway system. And they're going to be traveling on the subway system, most of the case, twice a day, right? Going to work, coming back home. And with all the digital screens there, you're going to be reaching all these massive audience in any given day. And then you can do, again, back to the pick and choose, right? Which station, which screen, which part of the town is making sense for you. But you definitely get the scale. And even better, I know we're going to talk about more about inbound today into China, but I'll just put one slide here about multi-market because you might not be just looking at China. Let's say you want to look at APAC in general or over the entire globe. So just taking APAC as an example, if you're in Singapore, you have Changi Airport. In Hong Kong, you have the Hong Kong International Airport and Macau Airport. And then you might be also looking into Kansai Airport in Japan, and then you look into Shanghai Airport in China. So let's say you want to combine these 5 together. On our platform, we're going to be offering you this international airport opportunity where you can buy programmatic across these different airports at the same deal. Right? And I'll go to the third part after talking about the actual opportunity, because I think the opportunity would be even more amplified with all these new technology coming along. And this is not set by me. It is set by one of the research we just run at the end of last year. What we did was we surveyed a lot of the buy side, which is agencies and brands, and they told us 90%, 92% of the respondents actually said they believe with the programmatic technology coming into our phone now offers more innovative technology opportunities. What does it really mean, right? I will just explain a few. So if you go into the actual planning execution itself, so now any kind of trading platform, Andy mentioned a little bit on the YOYI TECH as well, and this is another example. So let's say you are drawing blank, you are new to the China market, you just have some lines or some ideas, and now you can go into these kind of planning AI, right? And you can say, okay, I am a cosmetic brand or a health brand. I want to get into the top tier markets in China, including Beijing, Shanghai, Chongqing, Tianjin, and I want to run an omnichannel campaign. I want to look at metro inventory. I want to look at Xiaohongshu. I want to look at da. And then you can say, okay, give me a plan, right? Things like that. So basically, it's going to recommend you the actual strategy and the actual media spot plan. And then you can say, okay, I want to modify a couple of things. I don't like this frame. I like the other frame of the outdoor space, and then combine with me. And then you do your second iteration, and then boom, you put it onto the actual media buying platform. Programmatically, you can do the trading via your DSP seat, and then eventually you get to buy the media right away, right? So that's one example. The other one is now DOOH. I think at this point, you already kind of noticed the big change is going to be, it's not a silo buy. At the end, you're going to be able to combine the actual DOOH into all the other mobile platform, let's call it. And really following the consumer throughout the day, right? When the moment that they woke up and look at their cell devices, and then you go on to work, maybe they're on subway or they're driving, then they're listening to the audio or podcast. And then when they're commuting, then they're seeing the outdoor screens on the metro. And then they get into the office, they're going to be using their PC to work on their stuff. And then maybe at lunchtime, they go out to the retail store, which is also outdoor. And then when they came home after working late at night, they are going to be relaxing a bit and using their OTT or connected TV. And at the end, they might be buying some stuff or browsing on Xiaohongshu. So now you get the entire day. So earlier time, Casey, we were talking about if you did some, kind of search on Xiaohongshu, you browse through some pages, you have content, exposure, and then you can actually use that with the Taobao Alliance and retargeting on the e-commerce platform. So in the future, you're going to be able to do the same thing. Actually, we ran a few tests already. Like if you serve an ad on the outdoor space, now you can get the IDs, got potentially exposed to that ad over there, and they put into a top platform, let's say Redbook or Rednote or a Douyin, which is the TikTok version for China. And you can say, okay, now I'm going to be looking at my AIPL, which is a Alibaba ecosystem jargon, or you can look at the 5A models, which is more ByteDance, and you can look at, okay, that DOOH, is it going to bring me more I or P or L, or on the ByteDance platform YouTube, is it going to bring me A3 more 20%, right, uplift? So you are going to be able to actually measure the actual cross-screen effectiveness of your campaign, so which is making it really, really powerful. And just to drive you home with an example, right? And you can come up with some very creative ideas. This is a case for Panay Record. It will work with the Trade Desk. I believe most of you know the DSP. So basically, you can run a mobile prospecting campaign. Let's say you're doing your 6-second mobile video ad on a social platform, and then you plant your seed, right? You got those people who are interested into whiskey, for example. And then you can actually look at a heat map to try to figure out, okay, those people that were exposed online to your video ads, where are they going about on their, O2O, right? Omnichannel, their offline journey, how is it going to look like? And then you can do a heat map across different cities. In this case, it's Hong Kong, for example. And you can say, okay, now I'm going to make use of this. I'm going to pick these screens that are over-indexed, right, of my audience affinity groups, and I'm going to serve an outdoor ads over there. This is a retargeting, right, as you understand. And then, so that's your first time retargeting. And then after you expose those audience segments onto your old phone screens, the beauty of it is you actually can run a second round of retargeting. Now, of those people who you might be exposed, you can use some sort of geofencing technologies and LBS, right, data, and then you can say, okay, throughout my campaign, these groups of mobile device IDs were exposed potentially to my outdoor screens. Again, back to the not one-to-one, but one-to-many. And you can bring that group of device ID and then put it onto another mobile platform, let's say a display ads, or someone was asking about Baidu. Maybe you can put it onto an ad network or an exchange system. BES is the Baidu exchange platform, by the way. And then you can actually retarget the same set of customer groups or segments on that mobile device, so that they can actually drive for conversion right away. So that's a very, very interesting study. And the good thing about it is even more, it actually translates into really good brand uplift and brand preference and actually ad recall. So again, going back to the earlier point that I mentioned, our phone always drive a really, really high impact recall. We're talking about an 85-inch screen or 125-inch screen. So it is going to be sticking with people's mind, right? So, and the problem in the past is that you think of airport screens, you think of metro screens, is going to be quite expensive, right? So I'm going to go back to that point, like how do I manage my budget better? So using an example of McDonald's. In the old days, my McDonald's clients would say, okay, I'm going to be running an ad in Beijing and Shanghai, right, all over the place. I will pick my locations where it's close to my McDonald's restaurants. But you are really running a traditional out of home throughout the day. But the client is smart enough to say, hey, not every time in the subway system is going to be a lot of people. I want to target the people, and not that everyone wants McDonald's at any given time. There's a certain period of time that we want to eat, right? This is your breakfast time. This is your off hours. After work, you want to grab your supper. So maybe I will do a little bit targeting, right? So the client's request basically were three things. One, can I pick my day parts, right? Which is a familiar term in all the other media outlets. So can I actually do day part targeting on the subway screens? Number two, can I actually pick the day of the actual location or the inventory based on proximity to my actual store? So let's say you have a store or restaurant, in this case, closer to exit number 1 or exit A. Can I actually just serve an ad on exit A, closest screen, instead of serving on any other random screens on the same subway station? which, as you can imagine, is going to bring a better conversion. So in this case, you can even put a QR code. I don't know if you guys can see on the third picture at the bottom, there's an actual QR code over there. That's a media app on WeChat. So you can actually scan and you can place your order. So you walk out from that station and then you can grab your YMI in Chinese, or your delivery or to go already onto your way to the office. So I think this is going to see the actual conversion way as well. So this is very, very powerful. And that way, right, by managing the campaign in this more precise and targeted and data-driven approach, you actually save money. If you think deep about it, right, you don't have to waste, quote unquote, especially these days. You don't have a lot of budget to spend on across screen, and then you're going to spread the butter, right? You spreading your budget really thin across a mega city of 25 billion population. How can you actually reach to everyone? So you can actually use this to pick and choose like where it means the most to you. And I kind of mentioned a bit on the creative. I will just drive home with one other thing. If you can do dynamic creative, it's even going to be even more powerful, because then you can use your contextual and combine with your dynamic creative actual content and messaging, and then you can streamline the whole kind of ad delivery process, because it's like e-commerce, right? You can do your one-to-many advertising versions. Instead of doing it in the traditional way, you have to create 100 copies, and now you can make use of AIGC and then put on your programmatic engine and say, okay, based on XYZ data trigger or strategies, I want to serve different ads creatives. So the McDonald's case, actually, they did part of it. They have a 1 week campaign, and every day they want to serve or change to a new different SKU. And you can actually, based on that day part or different location, you want to serve different products. This is the actual results then. And another example of it is maybe if you're looking into kind of weather data. So in this case, it's pollution, data or index or pollutant data. And if you're looking at a more kind of urban city like Beijing and Shanghai, you want to encourage people buying EV in this case. Then you would say, hey, when the pollution level is really high, I want to serve this ad, right? So that's another good kind of relevant, contextual, and make it powerful for the actual consumers. And the last part of it, I just wanted to mention the measurement, because a lot of you will ask, okay, so how can I actually measure, or what do I actually get to measure? Obviously, the straightforward answer is on the brand side. You can get your awareness, aided, unaided recall, whatever consideration, purchase intent. Obviously, you can do it by kind of a in-market survey type of technology that you would do on the other platform. But I think what is making it more interesting and powerful now with the programmatic DOOH is, for the first ever time, right now, you can actually measure footfall. For example, if you're a retailer, or you have a shop, or you have a KA that you work with in China, a retail outlet, you can actually look at, okay, if I run the DOOH around my shop or my KA partners, can I actually look into footfall traffic afterwards? And you can map out your life journey, right, or LTV, and then you can see, okay, how is it going to drive my traffic into my store? And then if you have your private domain traffic, hopefully you're using tools like the YOYI TECH is providing, then you get your CDP, and then you get to measure your sales uplift and all sorts of kind of in-store activities and engagement as well. So, and then obviously you can also look at your online and offline sales purchases. For example, on the online one I already mentioned, you can actually use the exposed ID set, put it into a Alibaba, which is their data bank, or you can look into a ByteDance, right, into a system and say, hey, is it going to be driving some e-commerce conversion over there? And if for those of you who might have offline sales record, again, looking at the footfall traffic, and then you have your own CRM data, you might be able to map out all the way the top funnel, which is your DOOH ad campaign, and then the actual footfall, and then at the end, you're going to get your offline sales uplift based on that, which is then your one full channel or omni-channel and full funnel kind of attribution. This is just an example to drive it home. Gucci ran a campaign with one of our markets that we activated. They're running an exhibition over there. As you can see, they're calling out for people to go and visit the actual exhibition. So you can actually look at the numbers of exposed audience who are considering to visit the exhibit, which is a study. But then you can also look into the actual footfall traffic who are actually paying visit to your Gucci London studio exhibition. And then the last part of it in China, as they're called in Chinese, Juan. If you don't know what's Juan, we can talk about that at any given time. JUAN in Chinese, which means, all the time you're going to be looking into your results. And in this case, it's really great. Like you can look into an app conversion, and we already talked about e-commerce, sales uplift. But even if just an app download itself is very powerful, you can drive because we all know that the outdoor advertising message is creative and big, and you can create all those data triggering and contextual, and you can actually look at optimization. You can run A/B tests, and then that's why you can optimize the actual uplift in app download, for example, in this case. And you can work with your mobile measurement partner on that. Obviously, we're integrated with some of that. So for those of you who might want some more information, you can also take a note at my email address. That's calvin.chen@VIOOH.com. It's quite straightforward, but I will pass the mic to Zhang Yi. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Calvin. And that was an excellent breakdown on how DOOH is revolutionizing advertising in China. So to wrap things up, we will now move on to our panel discussion on creating an omnichannel strategy that maximizes impact. So I'd like to welcome back our three speakers, Andy, Casey, and Calvin. To get us started, while each of you comes from a distinct area of digital marketing ecosystem, you're all contributing to one shared and highly practical topic. So what is the biggest opportunity right now for international brands aiming to build a high-impact omnichannel strategy in China? So let's keep responses to around 1 minute so we can hear from everyone. So let's begin with Casey, whose insights from Rednote will definitely set the stage for today's discussion. Casey, over to you.
Okay. First of all, I think to mention omnichannel strategies in China, you can never miss Rednote, because Rednote is the center of everything, contents and e-commerce, and also awareness and promotions. And the one thing that you have to understand is that Rednote has a very manageable, micro-manageable budget scale. So if you want to put a huge billboard advertisement in the stadium or something, it's going to cost you a lot. You don't even know, you cannot follow up how it is working, how many people saw that and came to my place. But Rednote, you can create your contents under your budget, and then you post it there, and then you can see how it works, and you can adjust the keywords and the direction. It's very manageable, and very data is very clear, and also you can connect you to commercial parts. So I think the Rednote is one of the very nice starting point for the omnichannel strategy in China.
Okay, thank you, Casey. So it's all about find a balance between the budget and ROI for your contents. So now let's turn to Calvin. From a DOOH perspective, what opportunities do you see?
Okay, thank you. I'm going to start with a cheesy answer first, because the question itself said high impact omnichannel. So high impact, obviously our firm, DOOH, is high impact. So please consider DOOH. That's the biggest opportunity. And I'll come back to the ROI question that we always want. And then the omnichannel is just great, because in the past, again, I mentioned the silo media, kind of situation in the past. So now you can actually run any channel, right, really into China and combine together. I can hardly think of one channel that is not being able to connect it together now. So I think that's a great chance. And then the last of my answer is I want to mention also the budget. I think when it comes to inbound into China, I think whatever budget size you might have in your company is not important. I think what's more important is this is a new market for you, or you're trying out different things. You probably don't want to spend $1 million, whatever dollar sign you want to put in front of the 1 million. Is too much. So you want to manage the actual budget as you go, and you do test and learn, right? A/B test. So even with our firm, I would just say it loudly. In the past, if you're looking into an airport buy, if you without, I'm just making up a number. If you don't have 500,000 Chinese yuan, CNY, nobody wants to talk to you, right? That is an entry barrier. So now with airport and with a lot of the metro media, they are waiving that entry barrier because of the fact that you can pick and choose. As I mentioned before, you can pick one individual screen and different day parts, right? Anytime you want, and you can mix and match, and you can combine the way that you want. So I think that's the greatest chance, because before this, and we just launched this product, by the way, I haven't mentioned it, last year. So you only have this fresh out of the oven.
Okay, thank you, Calvin. So we can break through all the silos, and we can get more A/B tests test for running your campaigns. So that's really like inspiring. And now, Andy, let's bring you in. How is AI and the programmatic technology unlocking the new possibilities? What do you think?
You are sharing the topic one, is it?
The topic is from the perspective of AI and programmatic technology.
Okay, yeah. I think just now as Kelvin mentioned and Casey, right? I think there's no like the highest impact strategy. Beyond digital, our home is outdoor. Rednote is actually serving like social. I think the highest impact is we need to go fully omnichannel. But I think in one respect is you need with the AI at the center. Your Chinese consumer are actually everywhere on WeChat, DOOH, or even on the outdoor media. So like private domain tool like WeChat mini program and Rednote shop, they actually help the brand own the relationship and data. And when you actually combine that with digital out home, like screen in the metro or mall, right, you get both the awareness and performance. So the magic actually happens when AI bring all this together, tailoring creative, optimizing it in real time, and actually making sure your message is land in the right place and at the right time, of course, with the right person.
Okay, thank you, Andy. So I think you said that AI can help us to bring together the public domain and private domain, so we can like have more personalized content and creatives for the audiences. So to take that a step further, Andy, from the AI and also from the AI and programmatic side, what are the key ingredients to making sure different channels, whether it's social, mobile, or outdoor, work cohesively together to target and personalize the things?
Yeah, I think the first important ingredient is actually you need to have a unified ID framework because nowadays the user are all over the place because they are on WeChat, Rednote, DOOH, or even digital home. So you actually need to have a unified ID framework to actually identify this same user across these different platforms. So how we can do that? We also have our own CDP, customer data platform, where we integrate the online and offline together with a unified ID. Then secondly, of course, you need to have a AI to build a smart audience model. Thirdly, I was talking, I actually emphasize a lot on the dynamic creative optimization. So we need to create multiple creative and then send to the one unique audience. So by combining all these three ingredients plus the real-time like feedback loop, then obviously your channel will not stop working in silo and actually start as acting as a one intelligent, high-performing system.
Okay. Thank you, Andy. And I think it's quite a fascinating look at how technology is shaping the digital engagement, right? So now let's shift gears to the offline marketing channel. So as we all know, DOOH is often the first physical touch point in an omnichannel journey. So Calvin, as the most seasoned voice on DOOH with us today, how do you think brands can leverage it, not just for awareness, but as a full funnel tool, especially when integrated with mobile or social channels?
Yeah, thank you, Johnny. Yeah, obviously, I mean, I just want to confirm it is still a very powerful branding channel. I'm not saying it's not, right? But start from there, and then how can we do more? I guess over today, across different parts of my presentation, I mentioned it multiple times. I'll just summarize in a few ways, right? To make it more kind of full funnel and combining with other channels and make it more effective. I guess there are a couple of things that we want to look at. One is you definitely want to start with almost like when you are doing a campaign planning, you always have your audience segment and your strategy. So please do apply that same set of kind of mindset into DOOH Buy, because in the past you might not. You might just say, hey, I want these 2 frames and I want them to be running on a month, right? And then on whatever timing, the whole day. So now don't do that, right? More shifting your mindset to a more kind of targeted buy and online. And number 2 is make use of all those technologies and different ideas that were mentioned about contextual and data triggered approach, you can really come up with any fancy ideas. There's really no limitation in a way, right? So if you are a fast-moving consumer goods, you might want to look at different weather, different temperatures, serving different drinks. And if you're looking into baby products, you might target on different, like I mentioned about the index, right, of different affinities. And then definitely looking at all sorts of retargeting tools and methodology. I know this could be daunting, frankly. I was starting to answer some questions online because this is a new space, China, and all the kind of platforms you're not very familiar with, and you need some sort of tech partners all the time. How can I get this and how can I get that? I think the mere fact that you're joining today's webinar is congratulations. You're making the first move, and just make sure you connect to these right people, and then they can help you, right? And then just make sure that DOOH is part of the combination. There's no, like Andy just mentioned, like there's no one is better than the other, but what is your strategy? What is your target segment? Where do they go about their day? And then let's do a combination or omni-channel buy, right?
Okay, thank you, Calvin. So now let's look back into the online channel Rednote, which plays a unique role in product discovery and trust building. So Casey, as the go-to person when it comes to getting real results on Rednote, from your experience, how can international brands effectively integrate Rednote with other channels? And what do you think?
As previously mentioned, that Rednote has pretty clear in-platform ecosystem of the marketing. So if you have Rednote and maybe plus other e-commerce platforms like Tmall or JD or Taobao, then pretty much you can do your marketing and selling at the same time. Because at the end of the day, international brands, at the end of the day, it's about commercial activities. But it depends on the budget. If a brand has more budget than, small SMEs tend to have smaller budget than like big corporates. And big corporates, they have other creativity to play with. For instance, billboards or even like physical ones, billboards, papers, or digital ones, the mobile ads, and maybe, there's like Uber screen, something like a lot of like things. The thing is, when I was looking at the Kelvin's presentation, I found out a lot of the DOOH formats have QR code on the page, which means that just seeing the advertisement is not the end of the activities. When you see it and when you feel interested about it, everybody is like used to scan the QR code and getting to the page. So by attracting, well, see, we have AI expert here. We have a DOOH expert here. I'm representing the Rednote part, and we can cooperate together. For instance, AI is going to tell us where those people are going, and those people in this area tends to be younger or older, or who loves outdoor activities, or who loves to buy things. And we are going to have a lot of data due to scenes and scenarios and places. And then DOOH is going to play a work like I'm going to provide you with the DOOH service digital version, which is not going to cost you that much, and you can switch it as timely when you have a need. And then now we are going to have the correct targeted audience billboards everywhere, not only physical ones, but also on everybody's mobile phone. And then they're going to have the QR code to our Rednote page, so that if they're interested, they can get into the Rednote page, and we can bring them more of the activities and joy and discount or whatever we want, promotions. And then we can even let them go back to online to offline, offline to offline, like vice versa. So if those people come from this traffic, has a lot of interest in our product, then we can send them to the third place. If you are interested in this, maybe you're interested in that too. And if you, as you're living in Shanghai, then you can go to this place and you can get more offline experiences. So there are lots of things that we can utilize with other channels if we are in need. So this one, I think, is like the only limit is your imagination, from my perspective.
Okay, thank you, Casey. And it's all about QR code and redirecting your traffic. So this has been a fantastic discussion. So thank you to our panelists for sharing your expertise. And as we are running out of time, we will address all the Q&A questions from our email later. So sorry for that. And thank you to everyone who have submitted the questions. And that brings us to the end of today's webinar. A huge thank you to our speakers and a huge thank you to all the attendees. And as a reminder, a recording of this session will be shared with you soon. So if you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you again and have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.